Everyone, this is Eloy from Openfort, and today I'm going to show you how to use our latest sample, which is recoverable accounts. To make sure we are all on the same page, first, let's recap what is a recoverable account. A recoverable account is a type of social recovery account that we can use on Openfort to make sure that even if we lose access to our owner address or owner private key, we will still have access to the account by using the guardians. So if you want to know more about what is a social recovery account or guardians, I really recommend you to take a look at this post from Vitalik, which walks you through the different types of accounts, as well as why there's a need for recoverable accounts. If you want to take a look at the contracts that are behind recoverable accounts on Openfort, we invite you to visit our Openfort contracts repository and see and inspect the whole Solidity code. Let's move on and clone the whole samples repository to use it. Once we've done it, as always, please make sure you read the whole README file. Like most of our samples, once you have cloned the code, you'll need to configure the environment files. So in this case, you'll need to create the .env file from the .env local example and populate all the information. Remember that all this information can be found in our dashboard. So for example, in order to find the public key, you just need to go to the dashboard, go to the AI key section, and copy the publishable key, the secret key, as well as the one gas policy to allow the whole functionality, one asset contract in order to be able to interact with the account, as well as a player. Once we have all those details together with the API ID, remember, you have this button to copy it and then go to the .env and paste it. Then in this specific sample, there's another variable called the owner, which is going to be the owner that will gain the whole ownership of the account once we recover it using our guardians. We'll show you how to use it. So once everything is set up, you just need to call to execute yarn and then yarn that to start the sample application. In my case, it's going to run on localhost port 3002. So let's copy it and visit it using one of our browsers. Here, you'll see the samples which invite you to connect a wallet. This is because custodial accounts don't really make sense when we talk about recoverable accounts, because you can always ask Openfort to change the owner of such account. You can always gain ownership. But then when we use self-custodial accounts, which is when players have the private key, this is when recoverable accounts make sense. Why? Because they could lose their private keys, so they may need to use social recovery, which is what we will see now. So first, let's connect our wallet. Let's use MetaMask and approve the application to use our account. Here, we'll see that Openfort has created an account for us. And if we visit it, we'll see that there's no coding here. This is because, as always, we are using counterfactual accounts, which means that nothing is deployed on chain until it's needed. So let's close this and see that the first step is to mint an NFT, so we make sure that the account is deployed. Remember that because we are not using session keys, a MetaMask pop-up will appear. So let's click that. And approve. What this is doing, it's creating a transaction that will mint an NFT and send it to our account. Well, to the desired account. Now, because a transaction has taken place, we see that the contract has been deployed. Because if this is upgradable, it's deployed as a proxy. So if we go to more options and ask whether this is a proxy or not, we can verify that it is indeed a proxy. And now we can inspect its properties, such as, for example, the address of the endpoint. Okay. Then, if we look at the recovery details, which is an important variable that we will be looking at, we'll see that there is no recovery right now taking place, right? So everything is set to 0. However, if we start the second step, which is start a recovery process, we'll see that this will call the start recovery function in the contract, asking it to change the ownership to the following address. Notice that we don't have to sign this transaction, because what we are doing here is asking the default guardian, which is held by Openfort, that please start the recovery process. So it is Openfort with its guardian that will request the recovery. So we'll start the recovery process. Now, if we reload and we go to the Explorer, we'll see that an event has taken place, which is the start recovery phase. And we'll see that this time recovery details is not set to 0, but this time it's saying that the recovery address will be the following one, and we have this time to actually perform the approval, the confirmation, and only one guardian is required. This is because this specific account, if you look at it, it only has one guardian. If it was 5, we would need 3 different guardians. So in this case, we just need one guardian to approve. So let's use the complete recovery functionality, which in this case will ask again Openfort to say, please complete the recovery process. And because we only need one guardian, this will be really easy and really fast to complete. If we go back to the Explorer, we'll see that the owner should have changed, which now is the address that we requested to be the new owner.